Good afternoon. This is Biz Coach Ben, Pure Value Business Coaching and Consulting. Glad to get back on track with the video series. I know it's been a few days, and we're looking forward to picking it right back up where we left off. And we're going to start with an article that was written on National Public Radio News by Daniel McDowell on January 24th. The subject matter was world globalization, and actually what we're seeing today, de-globalization. Globalization of the world economies really began right after World War II, and it was led by the United States. It was fueled further by the growth of the Japanese economy and the European economies, spread strongly into Central and South America, Canada, and into the Asian nations. But in 2008, at the Great Recession, we saw a dramatic change. And Mr. McDowell points out that at that time, many countries took steps to protect their economies from international instability and foreign competition. So, what did that mean? Well, what it meant was that actually they fueled, instead of growth, they fueled less growth, because in a free trade world, we know this by looking at supply and demand. The economies that are able to trade freely and trade in the specialties at their best will therefore have higher gross national product, because they're going to sell more of the goods and services they're best at, and then they will import the goods and services at a cheaper price than they can produce them from other sources. This works throughout the world, whether it's at the micro level or at the macroeconomic level. In 2016, the article goes on to say another stone was thrown at the impetus towards globalization, and that was the recession that hit China's growth, combined with the political atmosphere in the United States, which fueled Donald Trump's election as president to move away from the free trade agreements that previous administrations had put in place. Not just former President Obama, but even beyond earlier administrations in the decades and years before. So this idea of America first is actually one that has been embraced in Europe and other parts of the world, which is a protectionist kind of mentality. The article continues, and it says, and I'll quote, "Without U.S. leadership or continued Chinese growth and integration, it's nearly impossible to imagine a world where globalization moves forward in the next 4 years." Well, what does that mean? What it means is that we can expect less growth throughout the world. We can expect that certain products and services are going to cost more, not less, more. And the overall gross national product, or the measurement of our economic strength here in the United States, and as we see in the European countries already, is going to slow down even further. Not get stronger, it will decrease. This is just a matter of pure mathematics. So, to also accentuate the point, Mr. McDowell shows that the new discriminating trade measures have outpaced liberalizing measures in globalization by a ratio of nearly 3 to 1 for almost a decade now. So we're going to see more and more protectionism. We're going to see less free trade, more tariffs, and therefore the price of goods are going to increase. Now, let's put this in final perspective, and then let's talk about what this means to you. So the bottom line is this: as the dollar strengthens, U.S. exports will become less competitive, less attractive, and therefore there will be a further increase in what's a negative trade deficit already. It's going to happen. This means less growth. So what does that mean to you and me? Well, one of the things of all folks in the business world working in a leadership capacity of any kind, in a management capacity of any kind, or even in our day-to-day family affairs, we have to become excellent masters of change. And what we are in the midst of now is a dramatic shift from previous ways of behavior at the macroeconomic level to a new reality. That means there's going to be a need for us to change. And change has been increasing at a dramatic level. We already know that. It's going to continue to increase throughout the 21st century, and this is just another factor that we need to take into consideration. There, in the business coaching and consulting that I do, one of the very, very important things that I try to instill in my clients is this idea that there are proven methods and techniques, strategies that we can use to identify where change is needed or where we can get on board with the movements that are going to happen or are happening to improve our business situation. So, and it all begins with building a strategic plan. And one of the things I'm really proud about is when I work with business owners and leaders of all kinds, not-for-profits, entrepreneurships and startups, when they get finished with the coaching, they have what I call a one-page strategic plan. It's a very concise model for the next 1 to 3 years of what they're going to do and how they're going to measure it. All the metrics, all the strengths, all their weaknesses are identified, the technology challenges, the innovation that they're going to take, and the financial measures which they're going to assess their progress. And typically we want to look at those each quarter so we can see how we're doing. The element though behind that is that high-performing people are masters of change. And being a master of change is not something you're born with. It's something we learn, and everyone can learn to do it. The first thing that we look at for a true master of change is they find ways to create circumstances where they can leverage what they know, how they do it, or bring in through strategic alliances or through training capabilities to move them forward. And this is absolutely necessary on an ongoing basis. So we look at where we are and we see where we want to go and we measure our effectiveness and then we fill the gaps. It all starts with our locus of control. And I talked to you in previous videos, and if you read some of my articles and blogs about the theory of constraints, the limiting factors that keep us back. Those are going to be the areas where we can find ways to really look at what we need to do that's different and put a plan in place and become the master of change in that particular circumstance. So we have, the first thing I told you is we need to have a strategic plan. And I talked to you in previous videos about the first elements of the plans. The values that you build your business and your life around, the vision, the mission, the purpose, and then the goals. And the goals are the detailed quarterly, monthly plans that we're going to put in place to implement the strategy. And then we have to organize our plans. And we organize them by priorities. What's most important? Brian Tracy likes to say, look at 3 things. What are the 3 most important things that I do, I personally do, and if I did not do them, they would not get done. And focus our energies on those. Then build our team around them, and each team member has 3 most important things that they're doing. They're contributing to the organization, and their work and their daily activities are all oriented towards accomplishing just 3 things. Because those 3 things are going to make all the difference in the world. All the other stuff is important, but it's not urgent. It's not the major contributing factor of why they're there and what they can do. So the final thoughts on this is when we're working towards becoming a master of change, it takes a lot of effort to get the momentum going. A tremendous amount of effort and dedication is required. So I emphasize to you and I urge you, get your plan in place, get organized, get busy, and persist. The more you persist, the stronger you are, the higher your locus of control is. You know you can get it done. You know your team can perform, and you're going to fill the gaps wherever they need to be. The better you're going to achieve what it is that you're wanting in life. You'll get what you deserve, whether it's good or bad in life. So let's go for the good stuff. Let's make it all happen. Look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great day.